Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to Rassle Rock with Rick Connor.
What the F was that entire freaking promo about?
Mark Callbacher.
She's like the James Ellsworth of women.
And Cory Castle.
I look like Paul London and Brian Kendrick.
Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome to another episode of Rassle Rock. We are having a good old time here. There we go. What's going on? We got a lot of stuff going on this week. Hopefully you all can see me. For some reason, Mark and Cory can't. Surprise, surprise. There's technical issues and things like that.
Woo!
Things like that happen all the time around here. But hopefully y'all can see me because I can see myself when we're having some fun. But yeah, man, we got Summerslam coming up. We got NXT Takeover 36. We got a new Impact World Champion, new Intercontinental Champion. We got returns. We got gimmicks being thrown in a fire. We got all kinds of stuff going on. Let's start with SummerSlam because that seems to be the thing that's on everybody's mind. It's what's going to happen this Saturday, not this Sunday. It's this Saturday is SummerSlam. What are you guys thinking here? What are you guys looking forward to?
Roman and Edge. I think the build has been really awesome. And
Rollins and Edge?
That's what I meant. Rollins and Edge. Yeah. The build has been pretty cool, and I'd like to see where it goes because I'm not a huge hater of Seth Rollins. I just am not a huge fan of Seth Rollins. So
gotcha.
It's gonna be good to see what he can do with somebody who like knows how to carry a really good storyline, and that it's tough because like. They've made Seth Rollins kind of the pro in all of his programs, like against Cesaro. Cesaro hadn't been there yet, but now it's like Edge has been there over and over. So it'd be cool to see the way he like leads Seth through this whole thing.
Yeah. Mark, how about you? What are you looking forward to?
I don't know. I'm going to say probably after that promo on Friday night, Cena and Roman Reigns.
Yeah, Cena and Reigns.
Yeah. I thought that promo was awesome. And it was nice finally to see Roman hold his own against probably the best work shooter
It was great when he was like just sitting there listening to him like, okay. Okay. Like that was my favorite part.
When he's just very dismissive of everything he's saying.
Yeah, man. I love that promo. That was great. It was over the top, but it was so perfect. Like I really think the feud benefited from that promo, and that's just the keys to a good promo right there. If you can get people wanting to watch the match that you're about to have, you know. Yeah, I thought they did a really good job. Cena and Reigns is definitely something I'm looking forward to. There's pretty much every match on the card, just about.
I would say for me would probably be RK Bro versus AJ and Riddle. Would be. Yeah. I mean AJ and Omos. I think that was probably the only other match that I'm really looking forward to because in the last 3 weeks they've been legit carrying the entire Raw brand. For them, especially Matt. So it's besides that, like the rest of the card, it's going to be a good card. I mean, what's going to happen with Goldberg and Lashley should be interesting. And I just think the only thing that's really dropped the ball, I really think, is the girls. I think the 3-way from Raw, and it's not them; it's just the writing.
Well, we've seen it before. We just saw it just the last pay-per-view of how a really bad angle, a bad lead-up, doesn't necessarily mean that the match itself is going to be terrible. Because Charlotte and Rhea knocked it out of the park at what was that? It was at Hell in a Cell? No, Money in the Bank. That was really, really good, and I'm looking forward to the match because I think like all three girls are great: Nikki Ash, Rhea Ripley, and Charlotte Flair. So I think once again, they're going to knock it out of the park. We have the other women's match, of course, which is Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks. Is another match that I think is going to be great because they killed it at WrestleMania.
Yeah, it's going to steal the show.
Yeah, definitely. I missed their segment on SmackDown this week. Something happened where Banks attacked Belair, but with the help of Selena Vega. Was that one of them?
Selena Vega and Carmella. It looks like maybe they're forming some form of a faction with the three of them.
It's a tag team match, player.
I mean, it could be good. I mean, poor Selena needs something because she came back with the anticipation of her and her husband working together again, and and then he shows up in AEW a week later.
Yeah,
I mean, you live in the same house. How do you not know?
Yeah, but I'm looking forward to the match, and if they're forming a group, more power to them. We could use another pretty mean sisters walking around.
Zelina Vega got kayfaved by her husband. she didn't know, like they hadn't talked about it. He was like, swerve, bitch.
You think he's just like a terrible husband? He's sitting in the back room of AEW. He's like, oh God, I needed a break from her.
Another match that had kind of a weird build-up that I'm looking forward to is Jinder Mahal and Drew McIntyre. It's another match where they're kind of leaning on things of the past. It's kind of false long-term storytelling, but yeah, they're digging into their old 3MB days. And McIntyre's promo was so weird on Raw. I had to rewind it a couple times. It was like, yeah, my mom should have died, and they told her to have an abortion, and she didn't, and then she died.
That's why I have this sword, and I chop people's heads off in the ring with it.
The sword is named Dolores, or whatever his mom's name is. Like, stop. Just, I named it after my dead mom. My dead mom, who when she was alive, she was sick, and they told her to abort me, and she didn't. So I'm here, and I carry this sword now.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here to murder people in my mother's name, even though she was such a great person.
It really felt like a journey around the block. Yeah, like we didn't need that whole around the block thing. But
right,
cool. I mean, it furthers your likability to kids. Sure.
Does it?
I don't know.
I don't know, but I mean, both guys are great, and I think they're going to have a great match together. There's like kind of a weird build-up. Another match I'm looking forward to is Sheamus and Damien Priest.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be great. This could be a show stealer match right here. I'm glad they're finally treating Damien Priest like the star that he clearly is.
It's funny. You really forget how big Sheamus is sometimes until you see Damien Priest against everybody else, and he's huge, and then against Sheamus, he's like, all right, this guy's not huge as I thought he was. But no, Sheamus is just huge.
Yeah.
Sheamus is a big dude, and why my camera always goes on an angle? We're gonna do this. Just try it. It always records on like a weird angle. I see actually Damien Priest finally walking away with a belt, and maybe like moving to the next level. What that is, I don't know. But these guys are going to beat each other up pretty bad, and it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Hey, Mark.
Yeah, I think it's.
Yeah.
Why do you want $1,000? Why are you asking for $1,000?
I have this card reader right here.
Did you see Baron Corbin's?
Both of you give me $1,000.
Oh, was it the Baron when he was like trying to give Drew McIntyre, he was like trying to tell Drew McIntyre that he would take his money? He's like, just $100,000 is all it'll take.
He was walking around at ringside with a card reader. He's like, if everybody can just give me $1,000, that'd be great. And it was really, God, I love this new Baron Corbin. I love him to death. It's one of the best things on SmackDown right now.
If it wasn't for that promo and Shinsuke winning the Intercontinental Championship, he pretty much stole the show by stealing the Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
And running away with it like he's now the Money in the Bank champion. Just laughing like an idiot running away with it.
Yeah.
It's like, that's not how it works, Baron. It's not how it works.
I just think it's great to see a guy who a lot of people pretty much crapped on for, years now, because he was just this boring, tall, monotonous type wrestler with actually, I got to admit, his finishers are awesome.
Yeah.
But he never really got anywhere, never got to show any real personality, and now this is showing that he can actually do something, and it's fun.
Yeah, it's like now it's let's continue to like say, wow, he's good. Like none of his matches have been bad matches, but for sure things are a little awkward because he's like too big for certain things. Like he's too big to like take heat from people. But I mean that's not really a reflection on that he's bad. It's just that he's really too big for whatever he's trying to do.
Mm-hmm. I just love the gimmick that he never asked for like $5 or $1. It's always like $1,000 or $100,000.
Yeah,
it's like, yeah, man, if you just give me $100, and he calls everybody like cheap when they won't give him $100,000.
Yeah, it's a great gimmick. It's interesting to see if they have a plan of where it's going to go. Might lead to a King of the Ring thing. Who knows? He's definitely moved on from Shinsuke Nakamura.
Well,
yes.
Are the rumors true that they're going to do a Queen of the Ring? They're going to do a women's tournament like King of the Ring?
Nothing's confirmed. Nothing's confirmed yet. We'll see. I'll watch it because if they do another women's pay-per-view, we've been asking for that for years. I don't want to see another multi-week tournament. Let's have 2 matches on Raw, 2 matches on SmackDown for the next 2 months, and I don't care about that. But yeah, if they do a full pay-per-view, hell yeah, I'll watch that. That would sound great. That sounds great to me. But one match we didn't talk about on SummerSlam is going to be the Mysterios versus the Usos, which I think is going to be great. Dominic's really coming into his own finally. Finally looking like a bit of a star on SmackDown.
You think they're gonna get hit with the Uso pre-show curse again, since it was last show?
Yeah, it's a possibility, and it's a shame. Like they definitely don't belong on the pre-show, but I see why they keep putting them on the pre-show because it's a great starter match. It's a great match to get the crowd up and running and get them going. But yeah, it just sucks that it's the tag team titles and it's the Usos and the Mysterios, and they deserve a lot more than just to be put on the pre-show. Another match that I'm hoping happens, it's not announced yet, but I hope it happens, is the rematch of Nakamura and Apollo Crews for the Intercontinental Championship. If you saw it on SmackDown this week, it was a really good match.
Yeah, it was.
Nakamura walked away with the Intercontinental Championship. Mm-hmm. What did you guys think? What did you guys think of it?
I it's one of those weird things where Apollo Crews again wasn't used right. It looked like they were going to come out with some kind of gimmick and like really make him a major player, and then he just faded in the background. And General Aziz is just, or whatever you want to call him, depending on what jacket he's wearing, First Sergeant Aziz or Lance Corporal Aziz, because he always wears rankings of enlisted guys, and then they call him General. I don't know, man, and I'm just glad that Shinsuke's been really featured a lot in the last year, and it's just nice to see because the guy, he's a really talented guy. I don't know what they're going to do now. Does he drop the crown now that he's the Intercontinental Champion, and that's how they do the tournament, or they're going to keep going with the King Shinsuke thing right now?
I think they're probably going to stick with the King thing for a while he's King and Intercontinental Champion.
Do you think Rick Boogs turns on him? Now that he won the Intercontinental Championship, you think Boogs hits him with a electric guitar and then he turns on him?
Well, the thing is, they're going to say Rick Boogs is not sharing his Old Spice money with Shinsuke. and Shinsuke is asking him very nice too. They're like, "Come on, we've built this bond. We're friends now. Now you can start sharing your Old Spice money with me."
I just see something weird going on because Elias is trashing his music gimmick. So I was wondering if WWE's well, now Rick Boogs is going to be wrestling Shinsuke with an electric guitar. We can't have 2 guitarists.
Yeah.
In WWE. So I was
two ponytailed white dudes who are extremely buff. Yeah, it's too similar.
I just hope that they have a plan for both of them. Elias just throwing away the gimmick that got him here. Granted, it was getting stale and they weren't using him right. So hopefully they have a plan of what they're going to do with him next, and he's not just going to be, "My name is Elias and I'm a wrestler," which is what they seem to do when they want to change gimmicks. It's you have to have a good enough personality and good enough writing behind you in order to get a gimmick that's just you behind you to get that over. What's that?
But
is he what? I don't know. I guess.
I mean, he really barely wrestles anymore, and it's all gimmicks, and he just gets beat up a lot. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm hoping that's the thing that they're going to change, is just to not have that anymore, not be the guy who gets heat from the crowd just to get beat up by somebody returning, or a legend to come out and kick his ass or whatever. So we'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah,
but most likely, I think that's his lease in life now is him. Yeah. And I'm waiting for Jackson Riker to be future endeavored. So, wow, have they given that poor guy absolutely no personality at all?
Yeah, that really stinks. But again, time will tell. Hopefully not. We'll just have to wait around, and we'll see what happens. Going back to
a black screen every time Rick.
Yeah, I really hope that, because I can see the void. Just to let you know, I can see myself on the video just fine. Like, everything's working perfectly. So, and there's no error messages or anything. So if YouTube, if you guys, this is great. It's the first YouTube video for the new channel. If you're seeing just a blank screen right now for my, is at least my name, that Rick_Matters, is that at least there?
That's there, yeah.
That's there. Okay. So at least you know who's talking.
We all just send that meme from Simpsons, just pointing at him and laughing if he's not on the screen.
Stop. He's already dead. But, the Apollo Crews thing, going back to that, he's got this new awesome gimmick. They put the Intercontinental title on him, and they kind of, after the Big E feud, they kind of just sat him on the side. So I'm hoping that Shinsuke winning the Intercontinental title isn't them just putting him out to pasture, because the new gimmick was great. Apollo Crews is a great worker, and hopefully it's been a long time since we've seen a title get traded back and forth, so hopefully maybe that's what they're going to do with Nakamura and Crews. I'm hoping to see that match, get the rematch on SummerSlam. Why not? Put that on the pre-show. It's a match that we've seen, but it's a match that was really good, and I'd like to see more of it. Moving on, that was SummerSlam. Moving on, let's take a look at what's happening at NXT Takeover 36, which is following SummerSlam for the first time ever. Usually they start with NXT on Saturday, and then the WWE pay-per-view goes on Sunday, but this time we got NXT Takeover 36. We got 5 matches that are announced so far. More might be added for the pre-show or what have you. What are you guys looking forward to here? We got 5 matches that are all looking really good.
What is the card? Because I haven't been paying attention since basically, I think this is the swan song of NXT.
Yeah.
I think after this paper, this is our last treat before they go back to, like I said, no midgets, no skinny people, no 30-year-olds. So besides, I'm not really looking forward to Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly, because no offense to Kyle, but he cannot talk to save his life, and he just drags promos down to the ground, just down every time he talks.
Yeah.
It's tough to watch, and then Adam Cole has to bring it back up because he's just so good at everything he does. What's the rest of the card right now?
We got LA Knight versus Cameron Grimes. I believe this is for the $1 Million Championship, where if Grimes loses, Ted DiBiase will become LA Knight's butler. Raquel Gonzalez versus Dakota Kai for the NXT Women's Championship. Karrion Kross versus Samoa Joe for the NXT Championship.
There you go.
And Walter versus Dragunov. Walter Dragunov 2 for the.
So those last two is tough to pick. Do you want to watch 2 guys murder each other, or do you want to see Samoa Joe win the title?
Right.
I think it's a record 3rd time in NXT,
I believe.
And then I guess that's and then they hustle him out the door with all the other old people, midgets, and skinny people after that.
Well, I mean, Karrion Kross is already he's already
Ronjo.
just an accessory to Jeff Hardy anyway. just let him lose the NXT title so he stop embarrassing the brand.
What are you saying? His wife is, or girlfriend, or whatever she is too risky to be on television? Why isn't she coming out with him when they go to the ring on Raw? It makes no sense to me.
Well, like she's too risque or
risque? Yeah, I guess. Like, because I don't get it. She's only wearing like catsuits. She's not like exposing anything when she comes down to the ring.
I don't know.
I don't get it, or I don't get it at all. And it takes part of his it takes part of what he is.
His specialness is gone. Yeah. His specialness is the woman managing him is what lends to the specialness of his character. What's his name? Scarlet, right?
Scarlet. Yeah, he almost seems
Scarlet Flair.
Even though they have him do promos himself, it almost seems like she's like almost controlling him, and he's just the brute that like does the work for her. And you take her away, it takes a huge element away from his character, and it just makes no sense.
Yeah, but I'm really looking forward to this match.
I want to see Joe put him to sleep? Oh my God, yeah! I want to see Joe choke him out.
Definitely. Because unfortunately, Raw, it would be so much better if Raw didn't screw it up with the whole Jeff Hardy thing, and then having him lose to Keith Lee. Because he was that unbeatable champion. He was that big tough badass that was tearing through people, and now he's just the guy that lost to Jeff Hardy. And it's like, why is he still the champion? Let's just get it over with. Let's get Joe that title, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I'm really looking forward to this match. And then of course the other one, Walter and Dragunov. Man, dear God. This was, a match of the year candidate last year, and it was brutal. It was probably the most brutal match that's been on television in like 20 years.
This is a match that deserves the crowd.
I'm definitely excited to see it in front of people because the first match happened in front of nobody, and it was killer. This one is going to be in front of a crowd, and it's definitely like something the anticipation's built even more because it was supposed to happen a couple months ago, and then Walter got hurt or something, like his ear got messed up or something. Was that what
I don't remember.
Gimmick was? Something was wrong with his ear, maybe. So
could be. I don't remember.
Maybe his hand. I don't know. But
no, his hand was Ciampa.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. That's right.
Which was a fantastic match too, which had a little bit of a crowd with it. But no, that match deserved a crowd. Now they're going to do it in front of a crowd. I just wonder how they're going to do it differently and still be brutal.
Yeah. There's a lot of matches on here that I'm looking forward to. I think everyone's going to be a barn burner. LA Knight and Cameron Grimes even. Cameron Grimes is still, I think, very, very underrated. And LA Knight's really good. He's, the former Eli Drake. I used to love watching him on NWA. I think it's really going to be good. Ted DiBiase at ringside. I wish that guy would dye his beard just because he looks nothing like Ted DiBiase, what he looked like before. But man, it's going to be a good match. I'm guessing Grimes is walking away with the $1 Million Championship at this point. Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai, I think is going to be great. Dakota Kai is extremely underrated, in my opinion.
Yes. Yes, she is.
I honestly, the promos that she's been cutting have been making me think that she has a shot, and I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully, it's not just a squash because she's so tiny. And even Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole, even though the build-up hasn't been great, it's we've seen these guys wrestle plenty of times before, and they've torn the house down each time. So it's.
I know the match is going to be good. It's just one of those things where, like, Kyle, geez, when he just talks, I want to go to sleep.
Yeah,
he's so bad.
Speaking of LA Knight, did you guys see the Ric Flair car insurance commercial that had him in it?
No.
It was like,
what was this?
Eli Drake was doing some sort of he was some sort of generic heel character promo in the ring, and then Ric Flair came out and chopped him and was like, "Capital Auto Insurance, woo, Liberty Blue, woo," and it wasn't like anything super special, but it was just funny that it was another Ric Flair auto insurance commercial that then had Eli Drake in it.
I wonder if that was part of the WWE deal or not, or if that was
wondering that myself.
One of the reasons why he left.
Didn't Rick just show up in Mexico with Andrade?
Did he? I didn't hear that.
Yeah, I think it just showed up today. It's been popped. I could have sworn I just seen like a little thumbnail of it, but it looks like Rick showed up with Andrade down in Mexico. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe that's what he's trying to do, is maybe work with Andrade. Maybe that's why he left. But, does that mean Chavo gets to move on and now Ric Flair is going to be his guy?
It could be. It could be. Could be seeing Ric Flair in AEW. Who knows? Could pretty much go anywhere. He's Ric Flair. If he shows up, they're like, yes, please be on our show. Again, it's a wait and see type of thing. I definitely think, we definitely haven't seen the last of Flair. He's going to pop up in different things all over the place. One of the things I heard was that he had some money making ideas, presumably some merchandise or some commercial ideas that he wanted to do that WWE wasn't down for. So he just wanted to leave and get those things out there, because Ric Flair's all about making money. So we're definitely going to see him soon. Oh yeah, I'm sure. Another great thing that happened this week, which was unbelievable, was we have a new Impact World Champion.
Great match.
It was a great match. One of the sickest, unprettiest I've ever seen in my life. And we have Christian, of all people, Christian Cage beating the unbeatable champion, Kenny Omega. What did you guys think?
I didn't watch the match, but I think it only would make sense if he would then now take the AEW title. Like, that's what I said. They should have made him the AEW champion, like, right from the start. But he wanted to get his moment where he like tried to build stars up. And it's like, we don't need that from you. We need you to go be the champion. Like, add legitimacy to something and make people want to watch it.
Yeah, it's one of those weird things. Like, as great as Kenny Omega is, like, Christian would add more legitimacy to the title because of who he is.
Right.
Sorry, works texting me something. No, the match was great, and this is one of the things. Like I said, when AEW does things right, they do things really well. And when they do things bad, it's almost laughable. Is this whole thing with working with Impact and everybody else? So now you have a star from AEW that can go to Impact, and he's the Impact World. He's the Impact World Champion. And then you have this crossover where people want to watch both shows, and it helps Impact out so their stars can get noticed. And I think Christian's a bigger, like, no offense to Kenny, because Kenny's the man. But I just think in America, Christian's a bigger name. So Christian can now draw more people over to Impact to see the other product. So when these guys jump ship to AEW or jump over there and attack an AEW wrestler, it makes a bigger impact on their show. And on top of it, like, what's this? The first time he's won the Impact title in 13 years or 12 years or something like that? It's pretty wild, man.
Do you guys know why there's two NWA belts? Like, what's the deal with that?
Two NWA belts?
Or two Impact belts.
One's the old,
one's
the TNA belt and one's Impact belt.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
I guess they just never unified them. I don't watch Impact, so I don't know, but I know, there was an Impact champion and a TNA champion. I guess when they made the switch to call themselves Impact, they just didn't do away. They didn't just change it to the Impact World Championship. They had a whole other thing. That's all I know. I wish I knew more, but I don't watch Impact very often.
Hey, if you guys know, leave it in the comments.
I try to watch some Impact when I can, and it's just like I said, man. Like I work in the bar industry, and like I work 4 jobs now because nobody has any workers in Philadelphia. Hence why I worked 2 jobs yesterday, 14 hours straight, and I sound like garbage. Dude, like I said, AEW is on a roll, like, because they know right now, especially if the CM Punk Daniel Bryan thing happens, like, they have a chance to really make a dent in that whole WWE machine, and it's coming. Like I said, and then we got 90 days from now. There's a big possibility Bray Wyatt shows up there with the other guys, because I have a weird feeling they're going to come as a group if they do show up. Everybody keeps talking Dark Order. You guys want to do that little fairy tale storyline where it's like full circle that he takes over. No, I think he comes back with the other dudes. Whatever Braun Strowman's going to be called, whatever Rowan's going to be called, and I think they're going to show up with the beards and a totally different name for the gimmick. But
I would love to see him. I would love to see him show up with Bo Dallas. Why not team those up two together? That'd be great.
Yeah.
No, I keep forgetting Bo's gone. I keep forgetting who's though.
Yeah, Bo's on the shelf as well.
I've been saying for a long time that Bo Dallas totally should have done something with the Fiend. Like that, one of the Fiends should the Fiend matches should have been Bo Dallas as the Fiend. Like that would have been neat. Or have him do the Firefly Funhouse. He could totally have done that.
I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it if he even suggested it. We're starting to learn a lot that, like, as genius as Wyatt was with that character, WWE still messed with it too much. They still tweaked it and played with it and changed his ideas last second. So he could have suggested that. Like someone just mentioned, and it never made sense. Why didn't Aleister Black ever wrestle Wyatt when he was a Fiend? Like that was was a storyline that just wrote itself. Or join him. It's so like the AEW has this really cool moment in history right now. You have Christian there, Miro's killing it as their TV champion. He destroyed Del Sol on Friday night, which it was supposed to happen, but they still make him look like an absolute killer. He's destroying it. Now you have Aleister Black killing it because his debut was amazing. And if they get this influx of Brian Danielson, let me get used to that, and Punk, if this is really going to happen, man, they can make waves. They can make serious waves. And the cool thing about that is we slowly lose the cheesier, lesser wrestlers that they had to rely on when they first opened, and now it's looking more like a legit wrestling federation.
Did you watch the Juventud Guerrera Chris Jericho match from Dynamite? I
saw a clip. It was sloppy, but it was cool to see the two of them in the ring together again after how many years. But it was nothing to write home about.
I'm just gonna say nothing else.
On an Undertaker Goldberg scale, it's still better.
It was pretty equivalent, honestly.
It's a shame. It's a shame, but like we said, when AEW knocks it out of the park, they knock it out of the park. When it's bad, it's really, really bad.
Look at Wardlow. They did a great job with the Wardlow thing. They still made him look like a monster. Jericho had to wait for a distraction to hit him with a baseball bat to win the match. Yeah. And they keep teasing that he's going to go after MJF sooner or later, which is really good. All he did was powerbomb Jericho through the match. It was just brutal. And like I said, if this is Jericho's retirement run, this is really cool, man. Like he's putting a lot of eyes on a lot of different products all at once. I think he's going to move into commentating because even though that 4-man booth was a little weird, he was killing it on the 4-man booth. I think he can really do a great job as an announcer.
Definitely. I think we're about at that time, guys. We're going to shine a spotlight on one person who shined the greatest all week, and we're doing it with a segment called Who Wins Wrestling? Who wins wrestling? Blah, 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 blah. Cory, what do you got, man? Who wins wrestling?
Did the music stop?
Yes.
I'm going to say Nakamura, Shinsuke Nakamura. King Shinsuke Nakamura won wrestling because getting the Intercontinental title on SmackDown. Like just on a random SmackDown. It wasn't even like a pay-per-view built match or anything. It was something it was something that was unexpected, and it's something that I think probably in WWE where for a while they were like, "Oh, well, we'll sometimes change titles because where it's not a big build because then it'll make people want to show up to the shows because you never know what'll happen, that kind of unpredictability of it."
Yeah.
So Nakamura, I would say, how many weeks now have I said Nakamura's won wrestling?
It's been a lot.
It's been a lot. Yes. So Nakamura is in the leaderboard for who wins wrestling all the time.
Absolutely. Mark, what do you think, man?
I have to go with Christian. He could have just took a paycheck, in WWE and just been another cog in a wheel and been in really bad storylines and all that. And he decided to go to AEW instead. Work with younger guys, work with people he's never had to. He's a wrestler's wrestler. He'd rather go for the art and wrestle people he never has instead of just make money. And he's making money in the process. Mm. And to see him win the Impact title, like I said, after whatever it is, 12, 13 years was pretty freaking cool.
Yeah.
I'm actually looking forward to him and Kenny Omega. Is it all out or all in?
All out.
All out. To have two pay-per-views named the same with one word. It's like,
all something.
It'd be like if they had there's Hell in a Cell and then there's Cell in a Hell. It's like, which one are we doing today?
No, it's hell. It'd be Heaven in a Cell. That would be the other one.
Heaven in a Cell.
They have a big white cage. It's really cool because I was always a big Christian fan, and more than Edge. Even though Edge is definitely the better mic worker, and he's the better WWE wrestler. I always thought everything he did was bold, man. Him showing up in Impact years ago and taking the title was awesome. So, this is really cool, man. Like I said, we're in a weird and fun time of wrestling because the next 2-3 months could be really interesting with the fall of NXT. AEW, doing what they're doing, and WWE just chugging along, hoping people are still watching.
Rick, you know how big of a massive Christian fan I've always been.
Oh yeah,
so much so that when I first started wrestling, my entrance was Christian's thing.
Yeah, that little shoulder shrug,
the little thing I took from Christian.
Yeah,
but. Man, I got to bring it back. It's time to bring it back.
You're not the only one that took anything. Randy Orton took his entrance.
It's very true. I was going to go with Orton this week for Who Wins Wrestling, but I didn't because I saw NXT, the end of NXT, solidified it for me. I've talked about before today. I talked about Dakota Kai cutting these massive promos that make me think that she's got a shot at winning the title. Dragging off at the end of NXT, man. He's such a little guy, and it's compared to Walter, but man, the end of NXT really made me think that he's got a shot at winning the UK title, and he made me care about the UK title. I don't give a crap about it. I never watch NXT UK only because it's too much wrestling all at once. But it's just the show or the match that they had last year. Was unbelievably brutal, and it was incredibly entertaining to watch. Anytime anybody asks me what wrestling match I should watch as not a fan of wrestling, I say, yeah, go watch this. You'll see why I watch stuff like this. But yeah, man, and I think that Dragunov is definitely going to pull one out, and I think he's going to win. I think he's going to beat Walter. He's going to be that guy. And that's my pick for Who Wins Wrestling.
Good.
Ha, ha, ha. But, man, speaking of Randy Orton, which we just were, he's back, and he's got a weird goatee mustache thing going on. We're not sure what's going on because
he's like Evil Cartman. He's a good guy now. So he's like Evil Cartman, so he has to grow a goatee.
Yeah, he's got the goatee on. It means he's from an alternate dimension. But he gave Riddle an RKO, and nobody seems to know what that means. Is that Randy being Randy, or is that I'm done with this team? Because at the end of Raw... at the end of Raw, I think it was Byron was just like, okay, I guess this means that the team is back together. And everybody went, what the hell are you talking about? Because he gave the guy an RKO. I don't know. But it was nice to see him back.
The lines they feed Byron Saxton, I feel so bad for him. I literally feel bad for him. Because I've heard him before when they just let him actually comment, do commentary on matches. He's not bad.
Yeah,
but the lines they feed him on Raw, it's like, gee, do you think he just goes straight to the showers after he does a show?
He just curls up in a ball and just cries in the shower.
Crying games playing in the background, he's just rocking.
Dude, I'm a fan of Byron. I think he's good.
Oh yeah, he's great. There's nothing wrong with him. It's just that sometimes they feed him these lines that are They just make him look like a nerd.
Yeah.
They just make him look like the worst possible. They make him look like he doesn't belong there.
Exactly.
Which is really, it's really crappy. But I love Byron Saxton. I wish they would just put him and Corey Graves on the booth and just be done with it. That's all you need is a 2-man booth of him and Graves, because Graves will tear him a new one, and Byron will give him all the fuel that he needs. They did the same thing with McMahon and Ventura back in the 80s. It was great. But yeah, man, I think that's about it for this show. Corey, since you're looking on your phone so much, do you have anything to plug?
I was like drawing.
Are we boring you?
No, I'm
sorry. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to do the show that you are a guest host on every single week.
I got a new marker and I just was breaking it in.
Anyway. Okay, breaking it in. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I got check out youtube.com/Cory Castle for new full episodes, full on-demand videos. And if you subscribe on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, you'll get new episodes every Monday at noon. And make sure you subscribe to our new YouTube channel for Rassle Rock. And we need to get a bunch of subscribers so that we can get one of those vanity URLs. But follow whatever the links you can on WrestleRock.com. That'll take you right to the YouTube channel and hit subscribe. And like I always say, if you like what we're doing, let us know you exist. Comment below whether you like us or you hate us, or you go, hey, stop drawing on stuff, you dingbat jerk. I get it. Go ahead and let us know you exist. We appreciate you and your feedback and your ratings. And share some of this stuff with people and let them know that this is a fun show to watch or listen to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely go check out the new YouTube channel for Rassle Rock. I'm going to put a link in the description. If you're listening to this on the podcast, there's going to be a link in the description to that YouTube channel. Please go and subscribe. We're trying to get, like Corey said, one of those custom URLs so we don't have to just put links everywhere, and we just say youtube.com/Rassle Rock, which would be absolutely lovely. But yes, it's going to be on RassleRock.com as well. You can see every video we've ever done there. You can see, you can listen to all the podcast versions of everything. You can check out our merchandise section, which all the T-shirts and everything on there is all connected to charity, so you'll be helping somebody out by purchasing some stuff. And I think that's about it. Mark, do you have anything else?
Can I have $1,000?
You got a card reader.
I got none.
Yeah, man, that'll be about it for this episode of Rassle Rock. Thank you very much for listening. I'm Rick Connor.
Mark Hallbacher.
Cory Castle.
And let's take it out like we always do with Mr. Nick Burke.
It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. Join us again for another episode of Rassle Rock. This has been Jay Davis speaking.